Well, hello. I wanted to talk about, and it's always about experiences, right? And I noticed a thread of things that were happening in conversations with family members, business associates, potential clients, just it was like swirling around. And, all of us have probably heard the phrase, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so I've been at this, sharing the concept of building a pool of capital for a lot of good reasons. Many of us have grown up in a culture. Anybody that's possibly, I want to say, 40 years or younger, has only known low interest rates. And so that's your perspective. Now that they're going up, car loans 9%, house loans 7.5%. It's new to us. And so it can, it reverberates. But I've been at this for a while, 4 years, a little over 4 years, well, 4.5 years. And I've been studying it really diligently. And I've read, Nelson Nash's books, I've read other practitioner books. And one of the threads that everybody talks about in that is that this is not an investment. What we're really talking about is a concept. You could call it a philosophy. You could call it a strategy. It's really a mindset. So the phrase is, this is not an investment. You're creating a pool of capital. It really has nothing to do with life insurance, except that whole life dividend paying with a mutual life insurance company is the best place to store your cash rather than putting it in a bank, because there's so many more benefits that come along with it, and it's very safe. Sorry for the background music noise there. I was going to say music. It's not music. And so this concept, this philosophy, this way of thinking, this mindset, that phrase has been swirling around for the last 4.5 years with me. And as I said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I thought I really understood what Nelson Nash was talking about. Everything leads back to Nelson Nash. Doesn't matter which phrase you want to use. IBC, becoming your own banker. There's a number of other ones out there that all allude to this philosophy mindset. But I didn't realize until yesterday, I just happened to be reading an article that somebody wrote, and just the way they put the words together, I just had a really profound aha moment. And so I think, well, geez, how is it that it's 4.5 years down the road, and I finally realized that really when Nelson said, this is not about life insurance, this is about a concept. And the concept simply is that you need to save capital. You should create a pool of capital that you have control over, that you have access to, that is private, that grows consistently, once it does grow, it never goes down. So many different things that it does. But the concept, you could do it. You could do it with a savings account. You could do it with CDs. You could do it just putting cash under your mattress. The only thing with those things is that, well, the cash under your mattress doesn't grow. The cash in your CD as it grows, gets taxed. You have to wait. It ties up the money. People think they're saving inside of a 401k, and certainly they can see money growing, but and that is quickly, I'll just say, would you rather pay on the seed or the harvest? Because when you're putting it into a 401k and you're going to pay in the future, you have no idea what your tax bracket is going to be there. It's probably going to be larger because taxes are historically low right now. But really, the point I'm wanting to make is that don't be frustrated if you don't really get this, because it can take time. I recently had a client go through this, and for whatever reason, he got it really quickly. And I got it relatively quickly. Bob Murphy, who was on the board of the NNI, Nelson Nash Institute, took him months and months, and he's a PhD economist. You just never know how long it might take, so don't beat yourself up. Give yourself the time to focus when we're trying to learn something. There's so much noise out in the marketplace, it's hard to know who to trust. I can tell you that I can share with you proof about how these things really work when it comes to the tool of life insurance, whole life, dividend-paying life insurance with a mutual or fraternal life insurance company. Stock companies are a little riskier for other reasons. That's another discussion. But I just wanted to say that, give you the example of myself, that it takes time to learn things of value, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your marriage, if you're newlywed and wondering what this is really like, it's hard to know what 35 years looks like if you haven't gone through it. So I just wanted to say that. I'm just looking at some notes here. To trust yourself enough, to give yourself enough time to learn what it is that you feel is important. Not that I'm going to tell you what's important. You decide what's important. And we look to the social media, the outside world, to teach us stuff. And that's precisely what I'm doing right here. But be careful when you're discerning truth from fallacy. Somebody that seems very credible, has helped a lot of people. Still be your own judge. That the wisdom for you is inside you. When I went through, I've mentioned this in previous videos, when I went through the blueprint process, I did that so that I could really I guess really what it was to trust myself, my God-given voice inside my head. When I am connected to God, that the voice that I hear to go a particular direction, even if it sounds like it's not like something, it's like out of left field, but to trust it and execute it and do it and see where it goes, because we obviously don't know everything. I just happened to stumble upon this piece of white paper, this little document, and read it. And the writer wrote it in such a way, again, that it just floored me. That the simplicity of it, which is another thing that Nelson Nash mentions in his Becoming Your Own Banker. This is ridiculously simple, quote unquote, something to that effect. So when you find something that you feel is important to your life, give yourself a chance to focus, really focus, block out everything else, and focus and listen to your own intuitive voice. The thing I want to leave you with is something that I was reading the other morning and kind of led me to want to talk about this. Well, also the fact that I read that white paper yesterday. But anyway, so some of you may recognize this if you actually look at my material that I send in previous emails and attach it. I've attached this quote, and that is, meet your own self. Be with your own self. Listen to it, obey it, cherish it. Keep it in mind ceaselessly. You need no other guide. As long as your urge for truth affects your daily life, all is well with you. Really just speaking to trust your intuitive, universal, God, whatever you like to call it, wish to call it. Trust yourself enough to give yourself enough time. In this case, 4.5 years later, this really dawns on me. This is a concept, this is a philosophy of saving. Well, anybody, again, 40 years old or younger, grew up in an environment where interest rates were so low, people think that they're not getting any interest, so why would I put my money there? You're not creating a pool of capital inside the stock market. You're putting it out there with the hopes of it growing, but you're putting it at risk, because we know it can crash as well. I'm talking about a pool of money that you can make investments with that you are pretty damn sure will succeed. So, anyway, I just wanted to share with that, give yourself the time. I know some of you that I've talked to, I've been talking to you for well over a year. Some people I only talked to for a month. But each of us have an individual timetable, an individual earnestness to want to know about this, and why. Because the powers that be don't want you to do this. Because then they can control you easier. So, anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. It's very, very helpful, and I please ask for your help in getting these messages out to more people. Anyway, take care and have a great day.